Yeah. Oh, did they want me to go to college? Oh yeah. Uh, they actually, I think they were disappointed that I didn't go to university right off the bat like my older brother did, and I went to community college first because, you know, he was. There's some dynamics there. He was, firstborn and stuff like that. So I think they wanted me to be more like him.
What exactly is he like?
Well, athletic, really book smart, great at math. He's got a mind like my father, so he's really good with numbers and science and that type of shit.
Is this something that like stayed like throughout, like, you know, that kind of dynamic where, you know, they maybe hoped that you were more like him, or?
Yeah, well, as a young child, it always felt like my father wished I was something that I wasn't. I was never very good at sports, but he pushed it on me, maybe trying to see if I push it hard enough, if I slam it in his face, maybe one day he'll get it, he'll be able to hit the fucking ball. But it just never happens. And so, I went through that thinking that I wasn't good at anything, because that's all I ever knew was baseball. That's all I ever was able to. I was not into acting or film or anything like that at a young age, besides watching movies. But it was, it just being, he just wanted me to, be athletic, just like all my other siblings. All of them were all stars. They all, and I just wasn't. I remember him, I remember before one of our games, he told me, or he sat me down before we left the house. I was probably 7 or 8, and no, I was probably older than that. I might have been 9 or 10. Something. I was probably like junior minor league type of thing, and he started yelling at me and saying, if you can't hit the ball against who we're playing today, because it was a really shitty team that we were playing, if you can't hit their pitchers, I have nothing I can do for you. He's screaming at me, just so pissed off that I can't do this, that I can't be like him. Maybe he always wanted me to be more like him. I don't know. Maybe he thinks of himself as a fucking god or something. But, and since I'm a lesser version of himself, what use am I to him?
Do you think that your dad builds himself, more than what he really is, or?
Well, he's a very intelligent man. He's very intelligent, and he's smaller. Like he's a smaller guy. I think from a younger age, he always felt like he had to overcompensate for things because he had been picked on so much for being small when he was younger, that now it's kind of warped his brain into thinking that he's some super masculine, epitome of man. But he can't see past his own bullshit sometimes. And I'm not saying he wasn't a great father in other ways. Watching how all my other siblings grew up, he was great with with everybody else. He really was a good father at times. And even with me, he was a good father at times. And in a way, pain is relative. It's not, everyone's got their fucked up stories. Mine's no different. It's just fucked up in the same ways. And what am I gonna do about it? It's in the past, and he's never gonna change.
What are some good qualities about him?
He's very generous at times. I will say, as a child, I never wanted for anything except for maybe his affection. But other things, he has the ability to grow. I've seen him become kinder to me and to other people over the years. I think it's when he realizes that he's about to lose somebody that he decides to change his direction. He has that ability in him, and I think that is a good quality to have for anybody. And it was very surprising to see that in him. And that's something I saw recently, that he can become a better person. And as a child, he one thing, again, even though I hated playing baseball, I never wanted to play it really, he never missed a game. He never missed a game for any of us. 5 children, always was at our games, cheering us on in a way. So he was a father that was very much a part of our life, even if we didn't want him to be at times, especially as teenagers. No teenager wants their father to be so involved with their life, but he still wanted to be. So I think it was his way of wanting to mold us into people, into who we are today. So he was confused, I think, and he went about things the wrong way, and he fucked up. We all do. Stuff I've been trying to forgive him for years. But he's a better man than I think I give him credit for. So, yeah.
Did he ever go, once you started doing things that you like, at least before you did not, or did you still focus on that?
No, yeah, well, there was a moment when me and him had just had a really big fight, and he took me aside and he apologized to me, and it was the first time that he ever said "I love you" to me. And this is a couple years ago, and he told me that I was something I'd never fucking expect from him. But he said, you are the child I am most proud of. Where the fuck was that when I was a kid, But, so he says this to me, and he tells me that he wants me to do everything that I've wanted to do. And he sees now that, now, after all this turmoil between us and all the fuckery that happens, now he sees that I was good enough to become something. Even when years ago, when I was trying to get into college for what I wanted to do, he had told me not to do it because I wouldn't be able to make it. And all of a sudden he's doing a 180 and saying, basically, I'm wrong, I'm sorry, I fucked you up. Do what you need to do to be happy in life. So that was that moment, I think.
Did you say what created the change?
No, he never really, he doesn't open up. I wouldn't be able to tell you what happened with him. Well, I honestly think that he realized he fucked up, and maybe that was a really scary thing for him to realize, because to him he's perfect, and that, or at least at certain times that's what he thought. I know that, but I think it was he had harassed me for so long in certain ways, such as putting his hands around my throat as if it was going to strangle me, and putting pressure onto it while I just laid there underneath him thinking, fuck it, do it. Why? I don't care anymore. Might as fucking well happen today. And it was, I think he saw that there was finally a shift in me where I didn't fight back. And he realized that he had, maybe he realized he won, or maybe he realized that this wasn't what he wanted in the first place. That, oh no, I've just turned into a submissive being who doesn't care about life or death anymore. I don't think he wanted that for any of his kids, to be honest. I was afraid that if my father didn't change, I was going to tell him that he's no longer my father anymore when I moved away. And I think that was me at that time. That's how I felt. I don't feel that anymore, but I think at that time I really felt that I was going to move away and I just wasn't going to talk to him ever again. I was going to write him off. We grow up. We find different things to complain about, I guess. It's probably a lot that I wish I could have. I mean, it changes. It always changes. Right now, I would love to tell him that he needs to be a better husband. And if he doesn't, I'm going to kick the shit out of him. He's a terrible husband. But, you know, I love my mom so much, and I respect her so dearly. She's a beautiful woman. But, yeah, so I would love to do that. And the thing is, it's even at this age of mine, I'm, you know, taller than him. I'd easily overtake him if I wanted to. But I'm still scared of him. So, it's going to take a lot for me to ever stand up to him.
How's he a bad husband?
He expects everything from my mom. That basically it's like a 50s housewife routine where he yells at her all the time. He treats her like dog shit. I mean, he doesn't appreciate all the things that she does for him, and she does a lot for him. She waits on him hand and foot, and in a way she enables him. She's never said anything against doing this type of stuff for him. But he's grown more and more used to that pattern as he's gotten older, and just doesn't. I feel like maybe he blames her for some things. I don't know what, but he does. He's not a nice person to her, which he should be. It's getting bad. I mean, at this point, it's awful to say this, but I'd be happy if she divorced him. And several of my other siblings feel the same way. We've had so much. We've watched him become worse and worse towards her, and it's getting too difficult for us to watch it. Of my mother? Seen her laying up in a hospital bed after she had back surgery, and I was a kid, and it was I felt helpless because there's my mom. She's not in a position to where she should be. She was really young at the time too, so and ever since then, I would never have known this because I thought surgery she'll be better eventually. But it's so hard to watch someone you love go through any type of surgery that extreme. She couldn't move. She just had to lay on her back for, I don't know, maybe a week and a half in a hospital. The only times I got to see her was if my dad drove us up to visit her. So I saw her maybe twice in that week and a half period. Which probably killed her. That she couldn't see us more. But she still has a lot of pain in her back. She's never gone away. And I think if I knew that would have made it even worse, that this was just going to be an ongoing thing for the rest of her life. Like, as a kid, though, you don't. I guess you don't think about long-term things. But even at that moment, it was scary for me to see.